All right, we are back out on the DJI Action 4. I've got the Mic Mini going right now, and just keep in mind that there's no wind cat on here because I just don't like the way they look. So we're rolling without it. If the audio gets pretty bad, or if I see that the audio is pretty bad in this video, then I'll probably start using it, but as of right now, I'm not going to. So in the last video that you guys saw, we used the 4K 4x3 mode instead of the 16:9. And the reason that I decided to use that is just, and we're using it right now, is just because you are getting more data. So even if you want to drop the video back into 16:9 later, you're going to get the same resolution. But I kind of like, I don't mind the 4x3 aspect ratio. It's actually become very popular in the last little while, and that's mostly due to cameras being able to shoot open gate. And what open gate is kind of what this is doing right now, is it's using the full sensor readout. So not doing it is kind of a waste, because I mean, I guess if you know you're going to shoot 16:9 and you just want to have a workable right out of camera frame, then go ahead and use it. But the 4x3 is recording more data in the top and the bottom. So if you ever want to repurpose your footage to Instagram Reels or vertical content and horizontal content, you've got a little bit of extra fabric to work with, so to speak. So again, my intention here is not to crop this later. It's just to keep it in 4x3 and hopefully get just a touch more quality out of the image, which is already really good. And the other thing that you're noticing right now is I am shooting on the ND16 from Telesin. So it's pretty cloudy today, but there's some sun popping out through the clouds, and we're getting a decent exposure right now, good motion blur. Yesterday's video, if you haven't watched it, by the way, I'll link it right up here. It's 3 minutes, just a silent vlog out and about on a daily basis. I didn't have my ND filters, so I had to use auto shutter. And for most of the shots, there wasn't that much motion, so it wasn't as apparent. But for me, as a parent, I really like the motion blur. So we're back on ND filters. I remembered them today. And I just keep them stored here in this little DJI Mic Mini bag that it came with. So I got everything I need contained into this, and I'm traveling very light. And look, the elevator's working. This is almost never working. Ah, bad beat. 8 minutes until the next C-bus. See, so now when we walk inside, I can pop the ND filter off because we're in a way darker area. So you don't need the ND filter, but that's why I'm gonna rig something out on this grip where I can just you always take the stairs. One other guy I've ever seen just now took the stairs, and it's an easy way to get a little workout in. You can see, you can hear it in my breath a little bit. ND filter off. And you're right here. And sometimes, honestly, it's faster. This is Waterfront Station, by the way. It's kind of like our own Grand Central Station, except for it's not grand and it's not New York, so I don't know how you justify calling it that, but I just did, so it's kind of epic. And boom, ND back on. See, that's really what ND filters do, by the way, if you don't know. They cut down the amount of light that you're getting into the sensor so that you're able to keep your shutter speed a little bit lower so you can get the motion blur. So this is what it would look like if I wasn't using this ND right now. And boom, we're back to properly exposed. And then when you pair the ND with auto ISO, it will adjust your exposure with the ISO as opposed to using the shutter speed. And that just gives you a little bit of flexibility for when conditions change slightly. So right now I have the ISO set to 100 to 1600. So it'll choose the best one between that range to keep the settings looking good. So the area that you're looking at right now is Gastown. We are in the historic Gastown, if you will. It's definitely taken a few different turns over the last 15 years, but even with all of its BS, it's still quite beautiful. I mean, you've got the nice cobblestones mixed with the nice broken windows, stuff like that, and things like that. Right here is probably my favorite lab for film in Vancouver. So if you need to get if you're in Vancouver and need to get some film developed, Rocket Repro is the place. Dino.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, how you doing? Anyway, I gotta go check in on the store. I'll see you in a bit. Nice to see you, Dino. Whew, already back. Already back. Hugging the block, as my boy Sky would say. How's it going? Good? I know, it's crazy. Baby's good. Boy, hi Yuki. Nice to see you. All right, so the video from yesterday is actually doing quite good right now. And it brings me to a point that I wanted to bring up in a future vlog, but I just haven't recorded it yet, but maybe this will become that sort of vlog. And that's just that I don't want to get back into the trap of creating vlogs about vlogging as opposed to just vlogging in general. And yesterday was a kind of a step towards that. And this last week of kind of the re-emerging YouTube channel and the reinvigoration of using the Action 4, I would say, has kickstarted this channel back into existence. And I used that first week to really understand this camera and try and figure out how I was going to make it work in this sort of context. But now I want to focus on making vlogs as opposed to just talking about making vlogs with the Action 4. And that's always going to be a hard balance when you're using camera, when you're in the camera space on YouTube, because the reality is that what gets views is talking about gear and not exactly showing the gear being used. It's a little bit of a push-pull, if you will, but I got really silent all of a sudden. But I think if you watch YouTube videos, or you're watching a lot of YouTube videos, or you make YouTube videos, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So I don't want to completely abandon talking about vlogging and the gear that I use, because I've got tons of videos coming up, especially about this Fjorden grip and some of my favorite iPhone accessories, and even the newest update to the Osmo Pocket 3. Like, I want to talk about all of these things, but I want to be mindful not to turn this channel back into a just strict gear channel. So I hope you guys are okay with that. And this coffee is actually quite delicious. Cheers. But I don't think I'll ever stop talking about how much I love this DJI Action 4 with the mic mini combo. Though those Hollyland and Lark M2Ss did come close. Like, I'll probably end up buying those again, especially if I can find them on a warehouse deal. Because if I want to make vlogs with my phone for a random day or something like that, those are the mics I would use. And I've got a couple of tricks which I think you would like about those mics too. Just a reminder that everything that I use for the Action 4 is linked below, and they're all affiliate links. So if you like this channel and want to support it, using one of those links, I get a little kickback. It doesn't cost you any extra, but it does help, because that's how I can start to pay some bills. Oh, there we go. Boom. Audio connected and everything.